This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Luca Chalabre filling in for Marissa Roberto. This is Digital Sportscentre presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And last night, Canada played in pre-tournament action at the World Juniors, beating Switzerland 7-1. And that included a hat trick from Maple Leafs first round pick in 2023, Easton Cowan, who, by the way, enters the tournament on a 56-game point streak in the OHL. And what better way to kick off World Junior festivities than to be joined by none other than Mark Masters. Hey Mark, how's it going?
Happy World Juniors, Luca.
Mark, it was a big night for Easton Cowan against Switzerland. How important is he going to be towards Canada's success at the World Juniors?
Well, Easton Cowan's going to play a key role for Canada at the World Juniors. Top line, top power play unit. He's a returning player, so he brings experience and leadership as well. Coach Dave Cameron says Cowan drove the top line last night. He's got an engine that just doesn't stop. It's a big reason why he's got that amazing 56-game point streak in the OHL. He brings energy to every team he's on. Cameron says he wants a 10-game point streak from Cowan at the World Juniors. Luca, 1 down, 9 to go.
Now, we've seen Carter George backstop Canada to gold at the Under-18s in the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. He stopped all 11 shots last night. Is he poised to be Canada's guy against Finland on Boxing Day?
Well, it sure looks that way. Carter George says it meant the world to him to get the first pre-tournament start, and he responded well. 11 saves, so not a big workload, but you got to remember, George faces a lot more shots in the OHL with the Owen Sound attack. They're having a bit of a down season this year, so it was an adjustment, and George adjusted well. Braden Yager, the captain, highlighting the timely saves. Now, the World Juniors can be a tournament for 19-year-olds, especially for goalies, but it feels like George's time may be now for Team Canada.
Mark, thanks so much for joining us. We will see you soon.
Cannot wait until Boxing Day, Luca.
Canada are back in action tomorrow when they take on Sweden in their second of 3 warm-up games. And of course, Boxing Day. Canada kick off their quest for gold against Finland. You can catch it right here on TSN. In the NHL, we've got an Atlantic Division showdown between the Leafs and Sabres. Just a quick note, Matt Murray will officially start tonight for the Maple Leafs. He hasn't played a regular season game in 628 days. And the Leafs have been hot. They've won 7 of their last 10 games and are just 3 points out of first in the Eastern Conference. Their success has largely come from a new identity that's been implemented under head coach Craig Berube. And he's helped turn the Leafs into one of the best defensive teams in the league. Toronto has the 2nd best team save percentage this season and have allowed the 5th fewest goals per game. This formula has worked for Berube in the past, especially in 2019 when he helped the Blues win their first Stanley Cup. And interesting enough, this year's Leafs and the 2019 Blues were both top 5 in goals against. But their emphasis on defense hasn't come at the expense of offense. The core 4 have all played well, especially Mitch Marner, who's on pace for a career year. But for the Buffalo Sabres, it's a totally different story. They find themselves dead last in the East and haven't won a game in nearly a month. While many didn't think they'd go on a cup run, fans were hoping Buffalo could finally take that next step and make the playoffs for the first time since 2011. It's been so long. They've struggled to both score and keep the puck out of the net. And if they can't figure things out fast, that record-breaking postseason drought looks like it's going to continue. All right, it's time for my favorite segment and yours, Why We Love Sports Today.
Why we love sports today.
Usually when we show you clips of refs on this show, we're probably poking fun or calling them out. But there's just something about this kid. He's all business, and we think he might have a bright future as an official. You can't yell at a kid ref. If you do, you're just like the worst person, okay? Don't yell at a kid ref. At least wait till he's like 21 years old. And then if he's still doing this, you could start giving him the business. But it looks like he's got things under control. When you hear the phrase, "don't try this at home," I think this next video is exactly the kind of stuff they're referring to. Just take a look.
At Adapt Basketball, we're all about training in the unpredictable and having to adapt to our environment. Here's a quick glimpse into one of our sessions.
There's no way this helps. Like, there's no way this helps anybody train, that you shouldn't do this, you should never do this, this is a bad idea. Like, when they say don't try this at home, please, like, don't go to your local zoo and start trying this. It doesn't make any sense. It's not going to help you get better. Now joined by our gambling guy, Wes Chang. It's always a pleasure to see you, Wes.
Hey, thanks for having me, Luca.
All right, the Thunder bounced back last night after a humbling loss to the Bucks in the NBA Cup final. They weren't sharp offensively against Milwaukee, but on the defensive side, they continue to be one of the best in the league. So how can we cash in on that against the Heat?
I would take Bam Adebayo to go under his point prop tonight. OKC, I think they got really humbled in that moment. That was supposed to be a milestone moment for them. They messed that up. And I think how they want to respond is obviously playing with intensity in these games to come, but it all starts on defense. They lead the league in defensive rating. They allow the fewest points in the paint. I think they hold opponents to the worst field goal percentage, the worst three-point percentage. Bam Adebayo, he's not actually scoring all that much. He's facilitating, but he's gone under his prop 8 out of 10 last games. OKC is not the place to get right, and I think the Thunder are very motivated to have a good stretch of games after how the NBA Cup went.
Meanwhile, for the 76ers, life's been a bit better. They've won 5 of their last 7 games, and they're looking to sweep the season series against the Hornets tonight. Is there somewhere we can make some money with their recent success?
I would take Tyrese Maxey to go over his point prop here. Now, Embiid's status at the time of this taping is still questionable. He had that sinus fracture, which is like just really bad luck for a Philly team that's trying to get back up to health. But you look at the track record of how the Hornets have played against other dynamic point guards of late. Just roll the stats here. Every single one of them have been putting up season high, or not season high, but like above average scoring numbers. Tyrese Maxey is no different. He put up 40 points in the last time these two teams played. Maxey is exactly the type of guy that can attack a guy like LaMelo Ball, who is kind of daring on defense and will open up a lot of good shots for Maxey. Maxey should be able to get to the rim, draw some fouls, and I just think it's a good spot for him with a bonus if Embiid's out.
Thanks, Wes. We always appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
That's all for today. Marissa will be back on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Have a great weekend.